Hey guys, Godfather of Anxiety here. I just wanted to make a short video today about benign fasciculation syndrome and some frequently asked questions about benign fasciculation syndrome that I think I can provide an answer for those of you out there who are suffering from this condition. So I haven't made a BFS video in a while. Summer is busy and both at work and with family. So it's, making videos right now is a little more challenging. But anyways, I feel like this is an important video to do because so many of us who experience benign fasciculation syndrome we're concerned that there's something worse going on. And hopefully by answering these frequently asked questions, I can allay some of your fears. So the first question is, with benign fasciculation syndrome, can you have hot spots? In other words, can there be a place where you experience, whether it be in your leg, your bicep, your tricep, your back, can you experience twitching in a certain spot for a length of time, months or even up to years? And my answer to that is absolutely, because it's happened to me. You guys know that my calves have twitched for, 17 years or so now, but that's nonstop. That's 24/7. But as far as hot spots, back in 2021, I started to experience a constant twitch in my left shoulder blade, right near my left shoulder blade, the muscle there. And it just didn't stop. It just kept going. I could feel it all the time. It was annoying. It was frustrating. So, and it just kept going. And, I thought, oh, here we go. I'm this unlucky person, not only to have benign fasciculation syndrome, but then to end up getting some horrible neurological disorder like ALS in addition to it, that's even more rare. So anyways, guys, no, you can have hot spots, and these hot spots can be any muscle in your body. So do not be alarmed if you have twitching in a single spot for months or even a year or two. It does not mean that you have ALS. It does not mean that you have a serious neurological condition. And I think it's at this point, before I finish my frequently asked questions, I want to make sure I get this out there, and I should have said it in the beginning. Guys, if you have new or unexplained twitching, it's always good to consult with your physician. If you need to see a neurologist, if your doctor thinks that that's important, then go ahead and do it. Don't put it off. Don't delay, because even if it's BFS, just wondering, for those of us who experience anxiety, just wondering can make things worse. And we do know that there's a bidirectional relationship between anxiety and benign fasciculation syndrome, right? So what does that mean? That means the twitching can make your anxiety worse, and conversely, your anxiety can make your twitching worse. So that's another reason to get checked by a doctor. And a lot of the time, you're not going to have to go to a neurologist. Doctors are generally well schooled on what to look for if you're losing neurological function. And, they'll test your strength, they'll test your reflexes. And if they think, they see some deficit there, first of all, don't think that means that you're on your way out, because there's a lot of things, pinched nerves, other neurological conditions that are nothing fatal that you could be experiencing. But, if they do send you to a neurologist, okay. But most of the time, guys, I find this all the time with those of us with benign fasciculation syndrome. Doctors are like, no, this isn't anything serious. Once they check your reflexes, they check your strength, your range of motion, they know right away if they're looking at something where you're experiencing a deficit. So the next frequently asked question I'm going to cover is, can BFS cause tongue twitching? Absolutely. Yes, it can. Any muscle in the body, guys, any muscle, a facial muscle, a muscle in your neck, a muscle in your buttocks. I have experienced all of those with benign fasciculation syndrome, and the tongue twitching, that was another aspect of this condition that made me think I had ALS. And I even started to feel like I was slurring my words. I was driving my loved ones crazy, asking questions. Guys, am I slurring my words? Am I talking correctly? I swore I was. I would do test after test to make sure I was enunciating words correctly and pronouncing words correctly. And the thing of it is, guys, and you can tell by my videos, I'm not a sharp enunciator, right? Like, I was kind of born with a little bit of an accent where I don't enunciate that well. So that makes it so that, you know, right away you can start, if you start to perseverate on the way you're pronouncing words, I'm telling you, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. It will drive you insane. And I was at my wit's end with this. So the answer to the question is yes. Any muscle in your body can twitch, and it can twitch for a long period of time. It can twitch for a day. It can twitch for a year. So it's nothing to be alarmed about. It is part of this condition, benign fasciculation syndrome. The next question I have is, can benign fasciculation syndrome be nonstop or constant? Yep. Since 2008, guys, my calves have twitched. Sometimes they twitch in a very pronounced way where it feels like something's going to pop out of them and crawl away. And other times, it's very mild, but they always twitch. So the answer to that question, again, is absolutely. Benign fasciculation syndrome can cause constant muscle twitching for years, indefinitely. I'm still alive. It's been 17, going on 18 years. And, you know, I'm still here. I have no deficit. So, obviously, benign fasciculation syndrome can do that. And it can just be a constant, permanent thing. The next question, the next frequently asked question that I find is, can benign fasciculation syndrome cause cramping? The answer, yes. You absolutely can experience cramping, especially if you're already dehydrated, guys. If I'm dehydrated, my calves will cramp. They will cramp if I'm dehydrated because the muscle's already twitching. It's already contracting. So if you're dehydrated, you're going to experience cramping. And also, there's an offshoot syndrome of benign fasciculation syndrome, and you guys can check this on Google or whatever, although I don't know if I should encourage my subscribers to go on Google, but they call it benign fasciculation cramping syndrome. So the long and the short of it is, absolutely, any muscle that's twitching or contracting in a repetitive way is going to be more likely to cramp, because the muscle's already contracting. So that's the answer to that one. The fifth frequently asked question I find with benign fasciculation syndrome, can it be accompanied by numbness or tingling? Yes. I would have said no back in 2019, because I'd never really had numbness or tingling in my calves. But when the muscle twitching got worse in 2020, and I had an anxiety relapse, I absolutely experienced numbness and tingling where I was experiencing the twitching. Very frightening, not fun. And now, sure enough, I look on the internet, I look and I do research on BFS, and this is not an uncommon thing. You can experience numbness and tingling because, again, this is the nerves, guys. These are nerves misfiring. They don't know why this happens with benign fasciculation syndrome. Anything they call a syndrome, remember, guys, if something is a syndrome, that's code for we don't know the pathophysiology of this condition. We just know it's happening and that it doesn't lead to anything bad. So, and then finally, and this is, I think, the paramount one, can BFS lead to ALS? The answer, no. Has there ever been someone who had benign fasciculation syndrome and then ended up getting ALS? Yes. Is that kind of like winning the Powerball and being struck by lightning on the same day? Because neither one of these conditions is very likely to get. And to get both of them, that would be really bad luck. Now, I know, guys, that you've probably been on the internet if you're concerned about the muscle twitching, and you've seen these things where people weren't diagnosed for 5 or 6 years and they had surgeries. But guys, if you read those stories carefully, they are experiencing atrophy and muscle loss. It's not just twitching. It's not. It may have just started with a twitch, but very soon after the twitching, almost always with ALS, you will experience some loss of muscle and some loss of strength and function. So the answer to the question is absolutely not. BFS does not lead to ALS. It's way more likely that, if anything, you're less likely to have ALS if you have BFS. Why? Because they're both rare conditions. So that makes it less likely, right? So, if you think of it that way. So anyways, just wanted to cover these few short, frequently asked questions that I know that, if you're experiencing anxiety and benign fasciculation syndrome and you've been on Google or Reddit, I know the questions that'll go through your mind. Guys, don't freak out. Don't panic. Benign fasciculation syndrome, remember the first word in the name of the condition. It's benign. It's not going to kill you. You're not going to end up in a wheelchair from benign fasciculation syndrome. It's annoying. It can lead to some cramping. It definitely can increase your anxiety and vice versa. But you are not in any serious harm here, any way to be seriously hurt by this. And, there are some things that you can do to maybe minimize the twitching. But whatever the case, I just wanted to make this short video so that, those of you who are concerned maybe can put your mind at ease. Thank you guys so much for the engagement with the channel. I'm so grateful. And until my next video, guys, take care.